Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my video. So I'm going to do this video. This is going to be like my 6-month review of this 12-volt jack. It's a 3-ton jack. I did a review earlier, another review about I'd say about a month ago, and this jack is the second jack that I bought for work. Well, for mechanic work and stuff like that. But it broke on me. I've used it quite a bit actually. I don't think these jacks are meant for commercial use, and it says 3 tons. I don't think I ever lifted a vehicle higher than 3 tons, but when it worked, it was great. When it worked, it was great. So I'm not going to give this a thumbs down. I'm not going to say anything negative about it. It is what it is as far as this is concerned. The main issue with this that I've had this is my second jack actually, second 12-volt jack. And if there is an issue that I've had with this, it's I'm not going to show you the gears right now, but the bearing. Okay, so the motor is fine. You know, there's a couple other things that I have issues with, but they're not big deals. The motor is fine. The motor will always work. You know, I've never had an issue with the motor breaking down on me, but I've had an issue with the teeth on the gears breaking down on me. But that's not, it's not caused by you know, the deterioration of the gears itself, but it is caused by the bearings. There's 2 bearings that hold one major gear together, and what happens is over time, over usage, those bearings, the amount of weight that sets on those bearings while it's working, it will deteriorate and will break the bearings. I had one bearing break on this twice actually. Originally, the first one I had, I thought the bearing, I originally thought that the teeth in the gear broke, but that wasn't the case. It was actually the bearing that broke. Once the bearing breaks, the gear becomes offset. Once the gear becomes offset, what happens is it'll grind the teeth down. All right, it'll destroy the teeth. It'll grind it down, and you'll be hearing like a crunching noise instead of a nice smooth motorized noise. And they're like $50, including shipping. I'm not gonna complain about it. It's helped me out every single time I needed it. You know, most of the times I needed it, it's helped out until it broke down. Not gonna have anything negative to say about it. This is metal. I just want to make sure I state that this is metal, because last time I did a review, I said, you know, I was, before I bought this, I was looking up at some reviews of it, and somebody said it was plastic. It's not plastic. Maybe they changed it up. I don't know, but metal. Everything is metal except for this this plastic gearbox, this plastic cover for the gear, and not a big deal. This is not surprisingly so, it wasn't, you know, the plastic part that broke where the bearing is. It's the metal part inside. I was thinking about maybe putting a couple washers in, like 3 or 4 washers, just to hold the gear together. Not going to work, because reason being is that the main gear itself that drives this, it's actually it's not held in by a bolt. It's actually I think it's actually welded in, so I can't actually take that gear out and put the bushings in. I was going to do that. That's not going to work. I actually had the gears worn because I kept on using it that way. It was going to go out anyway, so I just kept on using it. Unfortunately, if they designed it just a little bit better with stronger bushings, this would be absolutely perfect as far as I can tell, as far as the jack is concerned. Unfortunately, they didn't. There is a 5-ton version of this. I am going to buy the 5-ton version of this. I already bought the 5-ton version of this because I work on cars, and there's a lot of things that I do. Well, under the car, you gotta jack it up and all that stuff. I'm not really, at this point, I'm not into jacking up a car by hand, regardless of what kind of jack I have. I'm just so used to the automated stuff that it's not something that I prefer to do at all at this point. So everything I do, I'm using electric ratchets, electric drills, electric 12-volt jacks. You know, it just makes everything a lot easier. Originally I had bought, after this broke down, like last week, I had ordered a another 5-ton jack, but it was one of those air jacks that pumps air and the jack raises up, and kind of like a bottle jack. But I'm not. That's fortunately what happened was, you know, they were shipping it out from out of the country, and apparently that didn't work out as far as the shipping is concerned. They're gonna refund me. So I bought the 5-ton version of this. It's not 3-ton, it's a 5-ton version. And hopefully the bearings are different. Hopefully, you know, I won't have the same issue as this, since it's 5 tons instead of 3 tons. I don't think I lifted any trucks that's higher than 3 tons, but I made a good use of this, so I'm not disappointed by it. You know, the other one was about $101, including shipping, and hopefully, you know, I don't have to keep on buying these. Again, I'm going to take the motor off this. I'm going to take one of the bearings that's left that's good. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take the wires off. I might revisit this again if, you know, the bearings are the same. I don't know. Like, unfortunately, they didn't make this 100% the best they could make it. But what else can I say about this? Is, okay, so this issue, another issue that I had was this. This is a switch that keeps it from, you know, once it lowers, it keeps it from just lowering to the point where it just crunches up, you know, the gears, low, you know, lowering it past the point it's supposed to lower. Now, I had issues with that where it got stuck. Once it got stuck, it wouldn't raise up because the little lever, there was a metal lever on here that kept this down. Normally it's supposed to keep this down, and then it raises back up, and I couldn't get that to work right. Originally I thought it was an issue with the remote. I thought it was an issue with the wiring, but you see how all the wires are cut up, because I cut them up trying to figure out where the, you know, power outage was coming from. But I found out that it was this switch. So you guys ever have issues with this? You guys bought this? You guys have ever had issues with this where, you know, you hook it up, there's a light that comes on, and there's no power to this? It's a good indication that this thing is broken. So what you do is you take the thing that comes with it, the rotating thing, to push this up a bit, and then, you know, it'll work after that. But I kind of took that off. It's unneeded. It's unneeded. It's probably a safety precaution to keep this from you know, crunching up the gears going down past the point of, you know. But aside from that, I will tell you guys that don't use this. Don't. It says you could use this on your 12 volt. Don't use this on your 12 volt. Reason being is that it will blow out your fuse. A lot of power comes. It sucks a lot of power, and it will blow your fuse. I've blown about 3 or 4 different fuses. So if you're ever using this, always hook up to your battery of your car, and always have your car on. It consumes a lot of electricity, so you want to have your car on while you're jacking this up, using this, because you know, you don't want a dead battery after you're done using this, and it does occur. But other thing is, I will say that this breaks down. This will break on you. This will break on you. So what I do is I'll put it together and I'll tape it up so that it doesn't come apart. It will break on you. This is the plastic that was used on this is pretty not the best, strongest plastic. It's not the strongest plastic that they could have used, and it keeps on breaking. It'll break apart. The fuse will come out. All that stuff. So if you guys have one of these, just also they don't push together real good. So I've had to push it together, tape it up so that they don't come apart. But not a big deal considering it's a $50 item. Not a big deal. You know, I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I bought it. It's not a negative review. I'm gonna give it like 4 stars, even with the issues that it has, because they do come in handy. You know, there's really nothing more that I could say about it, except they could have made it a lot better. It is sturdy. It does work. it works the way it's intended to when it is working the way it's intended to, you know, if it doesn't break down. But other than that, you know, I don't have too much to say about that. I've had a couple comments on my other video with this. If you guys do have comments, leave me a comment. I mean, if you guys are using this for just your car, just, you know, jacking it up every now and then, you know, you probably won't have the same issues I do, because I use this on for the most part, I use this at least 4 or 5 times a week, so it's not meant for that commercial usage. But other than that, 5 stars. If you guys have any comments, again, please leave your comments in the comment section. Please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe, guys. All right, take care.